With their insane Pokemon card deals and rock bottom prices, the TikTok shop could be the death of many Pokemon card businesses in the near future. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. You're watching the channel Dr. Applesauce 2. My name is Will. It's another beautiful day here in Texas. I hope you guys know that I love you, God loves you, and that there is an awesome plan for your life. Today, we're going to talk about the TikTok shop, and I wanted to wait a little bit of time to talk about this because I've been seeing some of these insane deals that are happening on the TikTok shop. Drop me a comment down below, guys. Let me know if you've gotten any crazy deals on the TikTok shop. And I have to say, from a consumer's perspective, this is amazing. There's opportunity here to go and buy some Pokemon card products for incredibly cheap and rock bottom prices. And we're going to dive in and show how it possibly could actually be really bad for the Pokemon card collecting community, and how this could cause a lot of Pokemon stores to actually get shut down or run out of business or just not be able to compete over the next 6 months to a year. So the first thing that you have to understand is TikTok is doing this huge campaign right now to build their TikTok shop. They're trying to get another corner on another part of the market. They're trying to grab a foothold in another area. So we got to understand that this isn't just Pokemon cards, it's all kinds of things, electronics and all kinds of stuff on the TikTok shop. But the reason why it's so relevant and honestly it kind of scary, while being very exciting that you can get stuff for really cheap, scary in the Pokemon card space, is because you're able to go buy things below what it costs stores to buy them before they can sell them to you. There's some insane deals to be had on the TikTok shop. The first few, I just went and found a few really simple. Look right here, some crazy stuff, all right? So we've got right here a Crown Zenith, a specialty set Elite Trainer box for $25. They had it listed for $41.99. You can get a $20 coupon after taxes. It is $25. That is rock bottom price. Insane deal. That is far below distributor price on an Elite Trainer box. Far below distributor price. Over here's another one. This was actually posted on Twitter. A Paradox Rift booster box for $61. $61 for a Paradox Rift booster box is incredible. That's about $90-ish. From distributor. Wholesale pricing is, high 80s, low 90s-ish. So that's roughly $30 below distribution cost for that product. And we're going to start to see why, one, as buyers, this is exciting. These prices are cool. As store owners, this can be a little bit scary. So basically, so you can understand what's going on with the TikTok shop, if you don't have a full understanding of it, you can go onto TikTok and be on your FYP or your For You page. It's basically just where you're scrolling and it's showing you stuff. And you'll eventually see somebody that's like live selling something, and you can click in their live stream, and then the bottom left-hand corner, you can click on the store and it'll pull up their store. So that's what I did. You can see a couple things here, a couple shops that I pulled up. So we can see right here, we're at, looks like Poke Kings, and they have a bunch of stuff available right here. So we've got VMAX Climax booster boxes, $227 with a 30% off coupon, bringing that down. I think it caps off at $20. You can see a whole bunch of stuff here they have, and you just see right there, boom, claim that extra 30% coupon, free shipping, making things be great deals. We got another one right here, Port City TCG. You can get a Paradox Rift booster box, $120, 30% off coupon. And these are not even some of the crazy deals that I've seen. There's a lot of crazy deals that you can actually find on products like I just showed you earlier that are even better than this, but that's kind of how you go find this stuff. Now, let's be very clear. This is a great and exciting thing for buyers. It's an opportunity for buyers to get product really cheap, and that's awesome. I want to be clear, I'm not saying that it's bad that people are able to get deals, or that you shouldn't go and potentially buy something if you want to get a deal. If you want to go find a deal, there's been crazy instances where people are getting Elite Trainer boxes for $2, $3. I'm not saying that's bad, and I'm not saying that people who are wanting to go there and sell are bad either. If there's an opportunity, you want to capitalize on that opportunity, then by all means go do that. That's exciting and that's wonderful, and do it. But understand that sometime down the line, the discounts are going to go away. Sometime down the line, as a seller on TikTok shop, there are going to be no more discounts available to make your product really cheap. Sometime down the line, as a buyer, the discounts are going to go away and you're not going to be able to get booster boxes for $60 anymore. But the big question is, how far down the line is that? And that's the scary question. How far down along the line are those coupons going to go away? Because essentially what's happening here, guys, is TikTok is a massive company that's owned by China. Some would even argue that it's owned by the actual government of China. And the amount of money that TikTok has is something that the majority of people like you and me can't actually comprehend. Dropping $1 billion on an advertising campaign for TikTok would be like you or I blowing our nose and throwing a Kleenex away. That's how relevant that amount of money is. So we got to start the reference of understanding the amount of money TikTok has is something that we can't really fathom or comprehend as a normal person. It's an absurd amount of money. And that being said, what they're doing here is they are providing these coupons and discount codes to sellers so that people like you and I can go in and buy stuff at ridiculously cheap prices, and they're eating this cost. Basically, TikTok is spending millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars every day eating this cost and paying these sellers so you can get things essentially free or ridiculously cheap and discounted. And at the first surface, you might be like, cool, big, huge corporation makes it possible for everyday people to get things super duper cheap. That's awesome. Yeah, on the surface, it does seem awesome. But here's where things start to get scary and exciting is one, after actions like this are continued for a certain amount of time, the customer starts to expect prices of this nature from everyone. I've even seen people online trying to use TikTok sales as comps for what things should go for. Look at this screenshot right here. We got Pokemon dropped $45 from Rare Candy for a Pokemon Go Elite Trainer box and Dragonite V-Star box, which is actually a great deal. And then somebody right below it says, if it's not a TikTok deal, I don't want it. And I'm not saying there's anything bad about that person having that perspective, but it's that overarching perspective that's starting to perpetuate the collecting hobby that has only developed after TikTok's been doing this for a couple weeks, a month or so, something like that. One, that's the first part of how this gets a little gross and yucky is when people start to expect booster boxes for $60 when a store can't buy a booster box from a distributor for less than $90-ish. When people start to expect Elite Trainer boxes for $25 when it costs $35 for a store to buy one from a distributor. That's the first part where this gets a little gross. And we got to go back to where I was talking about the amount of money that TikTok has is unfathomable. How long can they continue this campaign of essentially covering all of these costs to pull more people into their live streaming platform to purchase things at a cheaper deal? How long can they keep that up? Because they have so much money, they could potentially keep this up for 6 months, a year, or they could take it away tomorrow. We don't know. But here's where it gets scary is when you think about if they keep this up for a year or more of Pokemon card collectors getting used to getting product this cheap and most LGSs not being able to sell that cheap because they can't buy the product that cheap. What happens? What happens when people start saying, well, I'm just going to go buy all of my cards from TikTok shop because I can get it for $60 for a booster box there instead of $100 from a local game store, which actually $100 is a great price. 6 months of that going on, a year of that going on, a lot of local game stores are going to close. And this isn't back in the 2020-21 era where we're like, hey, you know what? If you want to charge $250 for a booster box, you deserve to close. People had that, and I didn't agree with that perspective at all, but people had that perspective. This isn't that. This is stores that are trying to sell things at fair prices, far below MSRP, will close down if this TikTok crazy discount phenomenon continues to happen. I get it. If you can get a booster box for $60 or an ETB for $25, you got to make your money stretch. And there is going to be some part of the community that wants to support their stores that would rather pay a normal price to ensure that it's coming from somebody they know and that somebody that they want to support. And I love that. And that's how I am. I haven't purchased anything from TikTok Shop and I will sell nothing on TikTok Shop. That is just my opinion. If you're buying from TikTok Shop or selling on TikTok Shop, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with what you're doing. Not at all. That's just my opinion. You are going to have people that have that opinion, but the vast majority of people are going to want to get the best deal that they can. So if we continue on with this for 6 months to a year, and TikTok could 100% finance that, we got to look at it. This is a great perspective brought on by Brian over at Poke-Any. He made a video on this with great perspective. Amazon started in a garage, and Amazon didn't profit for like 10 years. Amazon was losing millions of dollars a year for like 10 years before they became this massive conglomerate. And what now? Everybody buys from Amazon every day. What if TikTok kept this up for 5 years? They have more money than you know what. What if they kept this up for 5 years and completely dominated the market on so much of this? Now, 40-50% of local game stores are closed. 60% of online stores are closed. So much of the market share is going to TikTok, and then they stop the discount codes. You see what I'm saying here? You see how this gets a little scary? It's really fun to look at it and be like, oh, these discounts are great, and they are. When you really start to dive deep into it, it gets a little weird and a little worrisome. Another thing that's a little concerning is there are definitely fake products being sold on the TikTok shop. Look at this right here. This person has Team Up sealed booster boxes for $75, Evolutions for $75, Unified Minds for $75. Absolutely fake. You can't go buy those. You got to be careful with those because you can also run into fakes on this platform. Okay, take a tinfoil hat, put it on with me for a second if you want to, okay? Let's look at this post right here on Twitter by Sean Frank. Just spent a week in China. Here's the deal with Temu, Shein, and TikTok Shop as explained to me by local business owners from China. All of them are suffering in China. China has lost its love for tech and is restricting their revenue. Chinese interest rates are still low at 2%, so they took whatever debt they could and are in a mad rush to grow it outside of China. Sound familiar? TikTok owned by China. Huge, big push to send a lot of people to TikTok Shop to buy stuff, specifically in the West. They're losing billions per month and try to get market share outside of China so that if the government shuts them down, they can still exist in some form. Remember, we're talking about local Chinese business owners that are speaking to this person with their personal perspectives. This is leading to shady practices, grow at all cost, break the law behavior. Think about Uber in 2012, but all three. Losing steam though. China revenue is suffering faster and they are growing abroad. TikTok has the best chance as a truly valuable social media asset. Now, we got to take this with a grain of salt, obviously, right? But there's some relevance in here talking about how local store owners in China are desperate and how things like TikTok are providing opportunity outside of the West with this grow at all cost mentality. Again, like I said, we take this with a grain of salt right here, but it's just to add some perspective. This whole thing, again, getting good deals is awesome. Getting good deals is great. I'm happy for you. And if you can sell stuff and make your money, boo-boo, but always have a backup plan. By the way, if you enjoyed this video, my friends, do me a favor, give it a thumbs up. It's free for you to do, and it really, really does help the channel. And just be aware of what's going on with all of these prices, because while this is exciting, while this is cool that you can get these deals or maybe go make a bunch of money, if this continues for a year, 2, 3 years, I guarantee you, tons of Pokemon card stores are going to go out of business. Tons of businesses are going to shut down. TikTok's going to own it all. And it's just really weird. And they have the money to continue to do that for years to come. So just be aware of that, my friends, when you're buying. I'd love to know what you think down in the comments below, whether you agree with me or disagree with me. That's cool. But just be polite and kind. Let me know in the comments below. And if you liked this one, I'm sure you'll like that one. Like I always say, my friends, find somebody to love and serve today. Be the change you want to see in the world. See you next time.